what's up, everybody? It's the host with the most, Captain Zeus here, back with another Nerds and Squares podcast presented by the Block Party, aka BP Fun. And I am joined here by the lovely and yet controversial, like I guess everyone else on this podcast, Voices. Say hi to the folks.
Hello, folks.
Says hi. So thank you so much for listening on Spotify, Apple, wherever you're listening to this on. If you're on YouTube, thank you for watching and listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Turn the notifications on. Share the love. We want to grow the audience. And let us know what topics you want to hear us talk about. Speaking of topics, we got some juicy news for you. Some real exciting news. Some that I think we've all been kind of hoping for, but not exactly in this way. We got James Gunn and Peter Safran, totally butchered that last name, is now in charge of DC Studios as co-chairs. They're going for, it's going to be called, DC Studios, and replacing it from DC Films, and it's going to be in charge of everything: films, TV shows, animations, the whole shebang. James Gunn's going to be the creative head, while Peter is going to be in charge of the business side of things. And after about a month-plus long search for DC's Kevin Feige, I think we are all satisfied, to say the least, about the new direction the DCEU is going to go. Man, thank you.
Yes.
Sorry,
Finally.
I'm not emotional.
Well, and it's just something that we've needed. They've needed somebody to be on one level with the entire way. That was the biggest problem. Like, the DCEU has a great rogues gallery, great heroes list, everything. I'm a fanboy, so I'm biased, but I like it more than Marvel a lot of times, because I feel like there's a lot more character development because it's darker. It's not so much of the happy-go-lucky with some of these people. Especially when it comes to the cinematic universe compared to the comics. Comics, you can go either route on either way.
Yeah,
but
Secret Empire.
I think, yeah, exactly. Let's talk about Marvel Zombies.
Oh,
but
shit, yeah.
When you also start looking at the things that it's done, even for the animation. I mean, Marvel has dog animation. There's zero
it doesn't even
good
exist.
animation. I think I have a DVD of the Avengers. And I couldn't even tell you anything about it.
I think the only one I actually
0%.
liked for Marvel animation was the Young Avengers. That one was good. I thoroughly liked that.
That was decent.
But that was the only thing Marvel that I can even think of that I actually enjoyed watching.
And I mean, you look at DC, I mean, just on the stupid level, even Teen Titans Go is funny. It's just all enjoyable.
I don't want to talk about that. I really don't want to talk about that. That disrespect, man. On that, there's Teen Titans. There's Young Justice,
there's Titans,
the spiritual successor, if you would, to that. There is Titans, but that's live action, but still in the same realm. And then the whole DC animated universe. They had their whole animated universe just going that no one, I guess, realized until the third Batman movie. And then they all tied in so well, it wasn't forced. It was essentially, and I know we talked about this in past podcast episodes, this is what the DCU needed in live action. Just got a bunch of Batman movies, and then you branched out to the Superman movie, and then you get the Doomsday one. You had Flashpoint, which started the whole thing. And a bunch of other movies, Justice League Dark, and they all worked so well together. And who was in charge of that? Batman. He was the head. Batman needs to be the head here. Well, I guess it's going to be Superman now, because we'll get to that in a second.
Yep. And I mean, one thing with this also is you have James Gunn, from a creative standpoint, does so much fantastic stuff with the most basic characters. Peacekeeper is the number one. Peacekeeper tops almost any live action show from a comic adaptation that I've seen. I love Titans, but Peacekeeper was just hilarious. I enjoyed every portion of it.
Titans is okay. Okay, look. Titans it's good. I wouldn't say I love it at all. I have a lot of pet peeves with it, so it's very hard to watch.
You're caught
sometimes.
up, right?
No, I have to rewatch season 3. I stopped at a certain person's death. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta catch up.
Yeah,
It gets
shut
nuts.
up. I know. Trust me. When I got to that death, I was like, "What the
Yeah.
frick?"
Okay. That's beside the fact, though. But
Tangent.
I love Titans, and I think even though it's campy, and I think like personally, there's a couple of there was one death that just I giggled at because I thought it was fake, and then I was like, oh, they did die. That didn't make sense. That didn't make any sense at all. Um, but just from that, I mean, Peacemaker was so good though.
For no
The
reason.
characters were well done. It was so bloody, and it was so what should have been done for this. Even when you look at and the Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad. That's it. It was a Suicide
That's the
Squad.
whole point. The Suicide
Yeah,
Squad.
yeah, not Suicide Squad.
Hey,
The Suicide
I
Squad.
mean, I enjoyed both of them. The first one was pretty good. Released the air cut, and the Suicide Squad was such. It's how like everyone's like, oh, the sequels are never as good as the originals. That's not the case here. That is not the case here. The sequel was definitely better than the original for sure.
Well, it was like a soft reboot. Well,
It was a revamped cool
it was something, and it was good.
because it wasn't a reboot because they
That's
were
it.
gonna have Deadshot back in there. It was just
Okay.
like a revamp. They tried to do a little
Yeah.
rebirth in there, basically.
Yeah. I don't know. It was interesting, but I think James Gunn is going to take it, and I think he's going to hit it out of the park. He's still doing stuff for Marvel. I just hope that he's going to obliterate Marvel now.
Well,
I
he's only
mean,
gonna do the Guardians of the Galaxy, and then he's done.
yeah,
He's
and
just
that's it.
once this third one comes out, he's done.
That's true. And so it'll be really good. And I think now we're actually going to start what I would be so happy about is actually having a Marvel Cinematic Universe running with a DC Cinematic Universe that are contending, like that are putting up
Mm-hmm.
Endgame level movies, that are putting up like Avengers box office pricing and like amounts, and it's needed, and they need to go back to they had a problem, and the big problem was their budgets were either going to the wrong places or sitting in the wrong places, at least on Marvel's end. So as long as DC sticks with putting their budget properly, which they have so far.
They
I
have.
don't have like there's not a movie that DC has come out with that I'm like, this one didn't have a good budget or they didn't have allocation to it,
Shazam.
but they've had good castings. Liked that.
The
I loved Shazam.
that the
It was
budget
enjoyable.
the budget on there wasn't the greatest. It was enjoyable,
No,
but that's what I'm
but
saying.
I also think they didn't anticipate for Shazam to be anything big. Like Shazam almost felt like they were dropping like if they made Falcon Winter Soldier into a movie, that's almost the feel of Shazam.
But that was a good show. I liked that show.
I know, but it was just kind of like dropped in there.
Okay, okay. I was like, don't
That's
disrespect
what I
my
mean.
White
Like
Wolf Sam combo here.
yeah, that's
Anyway,
my favorite. That's beside the fact.
no, but
We know our stances on this. If you want to
we
know our stances, you can fall back to one of the previous
we
podcasts where we
have
talk about all of Phase 4.
yeah, at least like 3 podcast episodes where
'Cause
we
I got a
debate
whole
that,
lot of hot takes when it comes to them. They have a
to say the least. But yeah,
those
to follow up
shows.
on your James Gunn point, and he I think the big thing was when he came out with the Suicide Squad. I think that caught a lot of people off guard because again, he took several B listing all the way down to like unknown characters and made them something. They made them
Bro, Polka Dot Man.
Polka Dot Man was for no reason
Like,
built. Like I don't understand it.
yeah.
Peacemaker, as much as he was in there, no one really gave a crap about him. But when you put
Well,
the John Cena in
until
there,
he put a couple bullets in someone. That's when they started caring about him.
look, I'm just all I'm saying is I think John Cena really put that guy like made him more of like a quote unquote household name. Because like
Yeah.
again, the Peacemaker show, which was phenomenal in
Oh yeah.
every way, shape, and form. Like it had everything you
Yeah.
would want in a DC series. It's got comedy, it's
100%.
got action, lots of action, and John Cena.
A lot of gore.
I mean, honestly, lots of gore and Eagly.
And
Honestly, the star of the show, Eagly.
well, and they had a racist person and he was the villain and he died a gruesome death. It was perfect.
Yeah, but he's also not dead because he lives inside his son's head now.
Yeah, that's true. But that's what's that effect.
Which is that's the thing that was in the comics too. But yeah, anyways. So yeah,
Family trauma.
love it. But
Honestly, what hero doesn't have it though? So
Batman? No.
he's got
No.
family trauma.
Yeah.
He's got major family trauma, dog.
I was like, there's no issue with him, and I'm like, oh wait, he just watched them die. Flash.
Yeah, like brutally.
I mean, they just got shot a couple of times in the alleyway.
The Flash is the same. The Flash is kind of the same thing, though.
No.
The Flash. Well, he went back in time to like stop the death of his mom,
oh, frick,
and then
you're right.
saw himself kill his mom in a future version of himself as Reverse Flash. Yeah, nah, dude.
Oh, frick. Okay. It's not Superman. It's not Wonder Woman because no. It's Aquaman. No.
Yeah, he's kind of got some. He's got some other
Martian
stuff.
Manhunter. No, because that was.
I don't
racism.
even think he has. Yeah, I don't even know if he has parents. Like how? Well,
he was basically like cast out. From
Ousted. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Hal Jordan. What about Hal Jordan?
I don't know enough about him.
I think I win on that one.
Even,
let us know in the comments.
You might be good on that one.
Someone let us know the DC character and Marvel character, if you want, that does not have trauma or family trauma. Family trauma. Because everyone's got trauma somewhere.
It's valid.
But yeah, off tangent. But yeah, this is going to be a great start for the DCEU. Maybe we'll see more Snyderverse coming into play from what it looks like, because we're getting Henry Cavill back. And I mean, a lot of things from what I'm seeing is they're taking some things from the Snyderverse and making them a reality. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get more Batman. Fingers crossed on Batfleck. When I heard that he was in Aquaman 2, I had a lot of hope because I thought he was just going to be done after Flash. But then we saw him on the set. Yeah. That's dope. And there is talks about him possibly continuing after the Flashpoint-ish movie, which would be dope. Like, I don't care about Mike. Like, as much as I love Michael Keaton's Batman, I don't care. I don't care for you right now, man. Just give us Batfleck. Give us Batfleck versus Deathstroke in the movie, and I'll be content. You know, I'll need new pants, but I'll be content. You know, and you know, when you do the whole Flashpoint, just recast Ezra Miller. You know, that's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Just get the Psycho out of there, okay? I mean, I don't know what is up.
And when we do Aquaman, same for Amber Heard.
Yeah, just put Emilia Clarke in there. Bada bing, bada boom.
Perfect.
Just hire us, James Gunn. If you're listening, hire us, please.
Dude, please. We will cast who needs to be casted.
We will bring you what Marvel couldn't bring you. I don't know. Yes. But we're gonna give it to you. And I know Cyborg. Cool.
We will not bring you Brie Larson. That's the case. Yeah. Like, we will not bring you.
Don't worry about that.
Her.
Not even in there. The She-Hulk content, we won't give you that. Trust me.
Nope.
Trust me.
None of that. None of it. No like, scar and no hairline.
You know, we'll be somewhere between Titans and Peacemaker. We'll be somewhere in there.
Yes.
You know, we're good. I'm positive of it. But yeah, no Cyborg, unfortunately, because... Which, honestly, I think is a shame. I really liked the actor, and I liked how he was portrayed in the Snyder Cut. And
I agree.
If that was the movie that we got to see in theaters, dude, I would be on that train for getting a Cyborg movie, because it was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of things I want to see return, Man of Steel 2.
Yes, please.
It's essentially almost confirmed. There's just no director or writer slated for it yet.
So, here's something though. What do you like? What would you think about like the plot be? Like, what would you think about the plot be?
So,
what do you think the plot would be personally? It's like with me, I would like it, but I just don't have an idea of what the plot would be. Like, I don't.
So, you could do a clash with Black Adam due to the spoiler end credit scene in Black Adam where Superman comes in and he's like, yo, we gotta talk, homie. And he's like, oh, we're gonna fight, homie. So that could be something cool. Maybe it's like a little team up with Shazam like they did in that animated movie in like 2008 or whatever, where it's like Shazam and Superman versus Black Adam. That could be cool. I'd be down for that. I think having Lex Luthor return could be cool. I think, even though I hate Jesse Eisenberg as Lex, he did start to grow on me a little bit. But maybe we'll have Lex Jr. That could be cool. And that way he's like the main Lex or something. And
Yeah.
heck, maybe we'll have, I think it's Amazo. Maybe we can have Amazo as the big bad. Where he's like, I think if I'm not mistaken, he has the kryptonite core, has all the like the strength and powers of like Superman and everything like that. That could be cool. I think that would actually be a really good one where he has to fight humanity instead of fighting an alien threat, which would bring it to conflict because he's never had to face like a human threat before. I mean, besides Lex Luthor, but that was really more him going all over the place to save his mom.
So, I actually just thought of something while you were talking about
Oh no,
that,
I saw and heard the epiphany.
Yeah. So, it'd be interesting if they used Man of Steel 2 to introduce like Brainiac.
So, here's my thing with that. First of all, everyone's been saying
Okay.
that. Okay, so you're not the only one to
That'd be
think
interesting.
that.
That'd be interesting.
I maybe as an end credit scene.
Okay.
I would be okay with an end credit scene to tease him as no, actually,
Like one of the big bads.
I don't want him yet. Because Darkseid's still the big bad, and they have yet to defeat Darkseid. And what they should do.
Okay, but what if they
Go ahead.
I mean, yeah, but the tough side is it's like, okay, but if they're pretty much like putting aside everything that has to do with the Snyderverse,
I mean, it's still
will Darkseid even
because
be
because in the trash Whedon cut, it was Steppenwolf and Darkseid still. We just didn't see Darkseid nearly.
I know, but I didn't even think that was canon. I thought like everything just happened and they were just kind of like, ah.
Well, I mean, it's not slated as to what is and isn't canon. I think regardless,
Okay.
Darkseid's still the big bad.
Okay.
It's just
Okay.
they got to figure out which way they want to go. And if they went with the Snyder cut version, that would be smarter. Do it for the fans. Do it for the boys. Yeah. But yeah, I think
I do think one thing.
Go ahead.
How you were talking about with like Man of Steel and like possible clash with Black Adam. I don't want that only because it would be essentially the idea of like it's the idea of making a movie that you know will bring people to the box office.
Uh-huh.
And you add additional characters in to make more people show up. I have a theory about a Marvel movie coming up that is doing that exact thing. And I'm not going into depth on that one. But
okay, that's quite a little bait there.
personally though, if they did something like that, if they had like Black Adam teamed with against Shazam teamed with Cap, I mean not Cap. Ooh. Shazam teamed with Superman, I would want like a movie like Clash of the Gods or like
kind of what you talked about the last DC podcast.
Yeah, like that kind of thing. Like I would want like a movie that was separate that was just like, okay, the main problem of this whole thing, the main conflict is literally just Superman and Shazam versus this. If it's a Man of Steel movie, I want something breaking down like, okay, maybe there starts to be some problems with like Superman not being able to balance directly with Lois. And like we start going in a little bit more with that, or like we start to have more of a like interaction on more of like his individual side of like introducing
you got this.
Trying to even think like because Smallville I just recently watched and Smallville had so much stuff for Rogues Gallery. Maybe throw in something with Bizarro, like something crazy that like wouldn't be a big factor, but something specific to Superman. I don't want another like tie-in where this villain is really a pull-in from another movie so that then this guy can defeat him and then they can team up at the end.
It could be cool. Because I mean they've already done it animated wise. You know. And I mean the script's there. I mean it's happened before. So it's not like it's something too difficult to do. I do see where you're coming from though, where it's like it's a money grab. And
Yeah,
yeah, it's gonna happen eventually, where it's gonna be Superman versus Black Adam. It's gonna be a money grab,
which I'm
regardless.
fine with.
Yeah.
But I want that to be separate.
Here's the thing too: is I think it's either he faces someone that's on his level of like quote unquote godhood, or he's got to, and that's kind of like this is the theme of like
Ooh,
Superman is like he's always either against someone that's on his godhood level or on his humanity level, constantly trying to bring him down. And so he's
what do
always
you
having
think?
to be on torn with that, or in a constant battle with that.
Okay, what do you think about um like kind of breaking down a little bit into like say there were to be, and I know the first Man of Steel was like Zod and a bunch of the other Kryptonians all coming in like attacking stuff, but
Go.
what if it was something a little bit more nefarious and it was like someone that was essentially, what if they had um Kal-El, Jor-El,
Jor-El.
what's the friggin' Supergirl's name?
Kor-El.
Cora-El.
I
What if
believe
they had
so.
Cora-El come down, but she was an antagonist and she was like feeding into him with different types of kryptonite to get him to act differently, to almost like turn him, like do something like really, really out of the park. Because like
I
when you look at the DC, and you look at the DCEU, and I will compare it to the beginnings of Marvel. When you look at the beginnings of Marvel, there weren't a lot of tie-in movies until they had enough established with individual people. So right now in the DCEU, we have the character that is slated for the most individual movies is Wonder Woman and Aquaman.
yes.
Yeah. And I just think that's problematic because neither of them really hold their own in separate movies. Both of those, like the first Wonder Woman, great. I never
Goat.
actually saw it, but I know everyone was like
It's
super
a
all
such a
over
good
for
movie.
it.
It's great.
You look at 84, 84 was trash, absolute utter
Absolute
garbage,
dog
just a
water.
dumpster fire that was in golden armor that looked hot. That's about it.
I wouldn't even
And
say
then
that.
you look, I mean, it's Gal Gadot.
Well, yeah, but she just didn't look good in the armor.
That's true. And then you look at Aquaman. Aquaman 1 was good. It was fun. It was
It was alright,
joyous. It
yeah.
was like, yeah, it was like, oh, okay, cool. But for the most part, like that's the only thing. But when you compare it to like the MCU, where it has like Captain America, first standalone, all by himself. Then you have Iron Man 1, first standalone, all by itself. Then you start to like even see like with the Hulk, there was a lot of reboots with him and a whole lot of discontinuity with it.
They should have just stuck
He
with Edward Norton. Honestly, over here
essentially
disrespecting
Hulk,
my man like that.
the era of Hulks is essentially what the DC has been dealing with since like after Batman Begin, after Dark Knight Rises. Like since then, it's just like let's keep throwing stuff. Oh, this stuck. Let's pull this with it, and you're like, let's not do that. But I just feel like there needs to be more individual DC movies that are separate, that you just focus on the hero. I get Superman is a hard one to do, but Smallville is a fantastic show. There is a ton of stuff in there. If they were to even take something out of that and adapt it a little bit, yes, he was young, so they don't have that factor. But there was other stuff that came with it. There was the factor of the different types of kryptonite that all did different things to him. The red kryptonite had different effects. Then like
I think the
there's
thing is with
cool
the
things.
kryptonite thing is, I think that's a bit much, at least for a second movie, because it
Well, but it
opens
would also
up.
tie with the beginning though. Like, okay, the first movie was about these
But
Kryptonians. Now you start to see the only way that he's really being able to be challenged is by Kryptonians. And it builds him as the character of like he is the most powerful for that positioning.
I
And then
think
it's like, okay, then if we got to the Clash of Gods, like, oh, it does make sense that he would be up against these guys. And if Black Adam whooped him, people would be like, oh, okay, he's at a different caliber.
I
Whoa, like,
here's the thing though, we kind of already have seen that he stands his own as like a quote unquote god, little g. But I don't know. I think I'm more inclined with the humane part of the rogues gallery and going up against him just because it I like the clash because they are humans. He can't really do what he would with like Zod to them because That'll bring drastic consequences. And they all come up with some pretty great ideas. Bizarro was a good one. That one could be turned very well. I think it's a Mazo. I'm pretty sure it's a Mazo. And that one's like a Justice League level threat too. And,
Yeah.
Lex Luthor, Mixopidolix, whatever that dude's name is, that guy's also been an antagonist every now and then. There's a lot of things that they can do that don't have to be God level. And I think that's one thing with the Superman stories is that everyone's like, he's got to be going up against all this stuff, more Kryptonians, more God. I'm like, no, we don't need all that. I mean, yeah, it's cool to have it every now and then, but I think having it so much, especially if it's like his first two standalones are that centered, I don't know. I just feel like it's not what we've been built on, because the whole thing was like him not being a god, him not being like that. Ever since Man of Steel, even when we saw him get resurrected in the Snyder Cut or Justice League in general, like he's still human. He's still trying to be human, and that's always what he's trying to stay as. He just so happens to be, super OP.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's just my kind of view on things there.
So really though, what do you think would be a decent plot though? Because
Honest,
like,
I
if it
kind
was
of
something not a combo, no additional heroes were thrown in.
no, that's fine.
It had to just
I
be
honestly
six.
was not expecting. Like, I only threw that out just because I thought that'd be interesting. But personally, I would probably not want to see something like that. I would probably want to see. I want to say Lex or Lex Jr., but also probably not. Only for the fact that we kind of saw him in Batman v Superman, which is like Man of Steel 1.5, basically. I mean, unless, like, because I don't know too many of Superman's rogues gallery to give that many opinions. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Just because,
Yeah, I
like,
get you.
him in the comics, I got bored of him after a while. And then Rebirth kind of gave me a little hope, and I kind of got back into it a little bit. But I think, like, Bizarro, but not in the fact of him being on, like, a Black Adam level. I think him more being a child because he's, fresh. And then maybe that'll lead into, like, a Superboy thing where it's like we finally have a success. Bizarro was a failure. This is a success. And, that could tie into whatever that freaking organization was in Young Justice and Titans. Not Hive, but I mean, it could be Hive. I mean, it could tie into whatever, where they're trying to experiment with him and trying to create their own Superman, and so he has to deal with like that. So that's like that could be a good balance, where it's like Bizarro, for example, he's a kid, but he's like a kid mentally, and he's doing what he's told or programmed to do, and then when he finally breaks free, it's like he doesn't know what to do, and so Superman's got to deal with that. Or like the whole Amazo thing where it's literally just a robot, but just so happens to have a bunch of kryptonite in him.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
I do want Batfleck versus Deathstroke though.
Yes, 1,000%. I think Joe. I believe his last name is Manganiello or Magiliano or something like that.
Mandarinio.
He was. Yeah, Mandreamy. That's what he is.
I didn't say that.
He is though. He just looks the part. He acts the part. He plays the part. He does very well.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, he's like when I look at like the Deathstroke that was even like portrayed in Arrow. Arrow's Deathstroke was cool, but there was certain things that just didn't hit the mark, especially developing so much of a connection to him from the beginning, and then like, oh, now he is Deathstroke, and you're like, I don't want him to be like, I don't want him to be this type of person. Where when we saw the Nightmare Realm with Joe,
gosh. That was sick.
And like all the other heroes, I was like, all right, okay, he's a contender. Well, heroes and villains,
I was just adding on.
But like, I was like, he's a contender. Like, there's some stuff to this. But yeah, it needs to happen, and I think Batfleck would be a really cool. It's a really cool and fresh Batman.
I think he's probably what we need right now, to be honest. Yeah. Because to hop on the Deathstroke thing for a second, we do see the evolution of Deathstroke's dopeness. We got the Arrow version, which was cool. It was fine for what it was. And then we got the Titans Deathstroke. and he was pretty effing sick. His costume was
Yeah, he
pretty
was
freaking
nuts.
fire, and he was pretty brutal. And
Yeah, he
then we
was.
got the hint, the little teaser of Joe's Deathstroke costume, which looked so glossy, so just beautiful. And then we only got a little teaser at the end of
Yeah.
what was it, Batman v Superman, and it made us want more. And then when we were told it was going to be Batman versus Batfleck versus Deathstroke in the new Batman movie, which ended up not happening, that would have been the coolest thing ever. Because I say this a lot. It's like if you just take the Arkham Origins Deathstroke v Batman thing, where it's all these bounty hunters hunting him, that would be so cool. Heck, you can even have Raz be the one doing it to test him to see if he'd be worth Talia, and be in charge of the League
Dude.
of Assassins. That would be such a cool little thing to do. And then you don't even have to
Having
have
the
anything to do
League
with
of
Joker.
Shadows.
Oh yeah,
Yo, having the League of Shadows pull in, and so then like the only Robin that would actually go into Batfleck's universe be Damien.
or
That'd
Tim.
be kind of cool.
It could be Tim. They could just skip Jason
Tim, yeah, it could be
because
Tim.
Tim's like he's what Batman would want to be the next Batman, anyways. So,
Yeah,
but it would be cool to have Damien there. I mean, that's a whole other thing. But anyways, I think that would be so cool. And since Discovery bought Warner Bros., there's been so many hints and teasers and rumors about the Snyderverse being restored, Batfleck coming back, and we kind of been seeing the hints and the little things of the fruits from those to blossom. And I don't know what's going to happen with the Flash movie. I don't really want Michael Keaton. Just please go. It'd be cool with the Batman Beyond storyline, which we've talked about in other podcast episodes. Go ahead and check out our DC ones.
Yeah.
We have an extensive theory on that.
Very.
But I think at this point, it would be fine to have Pattinson's young Batman coinciding with Batfleck's older Batman. Two different styles, two different Batman, same problems. And I think that
same
could be
brutality.
same. No, I think Batfleck's is worse.
Well, I know, but Batflex is also older.
True.
If you're an MMA fighter, your first fight doesn't look as bloody as the last one.
I'll give you that. I will give you that. But I think that would be the coolest thing ever to have those. So much hope for the
Because essentially,
DCEU.
Pattinson is vengeance right now, where Batman is Batman.
Well, no, he just got out of his vengeance phase.
True.
He's no longer
dude.
vengeance.
I'm excited for the next one of that. I don't know when that is. All right, continue on though.
We will go on a huge tangent with that. Let's do. So,
Bane, I want Bane, I want Bane, I want Bane, I want Bane.
dude, what if for the Batfleck movie with Deathstroke, that is obviously speculation, instead of the League of Shadows, it's actually Bane who hired them all. That would be cool.
I would be
then
scared out of my mind
the
to
second
see.
Batman movie would be him up against Batman, and it's like, I wouldn't say like City of Bane, but it's like he's not as dependent on Venom. He's still super smart, and he breaks Batman. Like, that would be so cool.
Who was slated to do the Batman standalone? Was that Snyder?
No, Ben Affleck was in charge of directing, writing, and executive producing.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I would be very, I would genuinely be scared of a Bane in this universe. Like,
And I
that
don't
would
want
be
one to be
intimidating.
like roided out on Venom like we saw in the Tim Burton verse. I want one that's stupid intelligent, dude. I want one that is literally Batman's rival. Cause
I want the middle. I want a middleman.
The middleman.
Of what we did. I want a middle of the Bane that we got from the Dark Knight series and the Bane of that OG. Like, super strong like that one. Not to where like talks like Sylvester Stallone. Yeah, he talks like Sylvester Stallone with a bee in his mouth. But like, the middleman of that would be beautiful.
Dude. Oh, just imagine the Batman sequel, or like the cutscene.
Who would you want for that?
As Bane? Oh.
Yeah, who would you want as that?
Dude, that's actually a good question. I don't know that many Hispanic
You know what I'm mad
actors
about?
that would be like that big to work for it. What? What are you mad about?
Nah, well, because like I kind of had thought about like, the guy who plays He's in DC Heroes of Tomorrow or whatever it is like that.
What is
Uh,
who?
he's the bigger guy. He's not Hispanic though. That's the only thing. Like I just had thought about him to be it.
Yeah,
But
as much as I love Tom Hardy as Bane, I would rather just have them comic accurate. You know, Bane, the luchador
yeah, like a
who is
Hispanic
stupid
one.
smart and just so happens to be on Venom. Like that would be so cool. But yeah, dude, I don't
I'm
know.
looking up big Hispanic actors.
You're gonna pull up a site that you're not gonna like, man.
Nah, no. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It's clean. I got the safe search on. Oh man. Oh, you guys that are listening, let us know who you would want to play as Bane, because I'm actually be interested to see who you guys would cast as that, or even a Ra's al Ghul. Who would you want as Ra's al Ghul? I was actually fine with Liam Neeson, to be honest. I thought he was great, even though I mean, it wasn't
Um,
accurate, but I thought he was great.
Russell, go like, are we talking the Asian, like
Yeah,
having the Asian descent or Middle Eastern?
I I would say Middle Eastern.
Okay, the Middle Eastern.
Yeah,
Because
that's kind
like
of like
one
what
thing
he's
with
always
Gotham Knights,
been recently.
yeah, Gotham Knights is very like Middle Eastern. Like Talia and Ra's are both very Middle
I'm
Eastern. So
pretty
I was just
I'm
wondering.
pretty sure it's Raz. I've heard, because why would it be called Raish when it's RAS? I have no idea.
I don't know.
Everyone mispronounces names all the time. I hear two different things. But I guess since you can't come up with any Hispanic actors at the moment, we're gonna diverge onwards.
Alfred Molina, he's Hispanic.
Isn't he? I want to say he's Doctor Octopus.
Danny Trejo. Yep, Danny Trejo. That's who I want.
Who?
Danny Trejo.
Danny.
Trejo, whatever.
Okay,
You know who he is.
I swear this is who I think it is.
You know who he is. He's
Don't.
right here. Look at him.
Why would you want Machete to play freaking? Okay, so you're the same kind of guy that would want Danny DeVito to play the Penguin. I got you. I see how it is.
Yep.
All right, so on non-DC news, we did watch the Quantumania trailer, the Ant-Man Quantumania trailer, and honestly, I'm actually excited. I am thoroughly
Yeah.
excited for that movie. I think it looks good so far from what we've seen. It looks good. Some interesting characters in there. Kang the Conqueror's comic accurate suit looks fire as frick, and this Kang looks to be brutal, like super. This is gonna be a very rough journey for Ant-Man and the Ant Gang. Also, Cassie Lang was recast because no reason. They just recasted her, like right after
Yeah,
Endgame
that
came
was
out.
kind of strange.
Yeah, the worst thing is, the actress didn't even know she was recasted. She found out when everyone else found out, which is through social media.
That's so tough.
It's so tough and very unprofessional. And this is from Disney Marvel after Endgame. Like what? Like I was so
We're
upset.
not shocked though. We
I
shouldn't be.
was I was still upset. I'm like that. You don't do that. You guys are this big of a company, and you didn't have the goal to just let her know beforehand. Hey, you're not gonna be Cassie Lang. We're gonna recast you for a younger actress who's not that good because she's younger. Like, come on.
Yeah,
I actually
essentially.
I actually don't like the actress that they recasted her for, personally. Uh, Also, we could get TVA. We could have a little TVA connection or appearance, since technically King the Conqueror is the one that created. Well, it was He Who Knows created the TVA, but then once things changed at the end of Loki, it was King the Conqueror that was like on the head of
Or
things.
like Kanged. Uh, but yeah, it looked pretty good.
I want to cry. That's so freaking bad. That was so bad. I genuinely hate you for doing that. What?
Hey, I mean, the good part about this movie is it actually looks like they put the money into the CGI.
They did. They did put the money in the CGI this time, which was actually surprising because
Mhm.
as of late, I have not been seeing where their millions of dollars are going.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah. So I honestly don't know what to expect with this movie though, because the trailer didn't really say what the plot is. Like she sends a message to the quantum realm. She goes down to, well, by she I mean Cassie, and then the Cassie and Ant Gang go down to the quantum realm. They're stuck, and Kang's like, "Help me, I help you, baby." And we don't know what he needs help with. They're obviously going to clash with him.
Yeah.
But I have no idea what it's going to be about or what for. And I kind of like that. I hope this is the only trailer we get, because that'd be fine. Especially since it comes out in February.
We're gonna get at least 6 more.
I'm going to keep count. Like, I really hope that we don't. Well, then again, like, Wakanda Forever, we've only had two trailers, and it comes out in, like, 2 weeks.
Yeah, but Wakanda Forever has also had a very different vibe than Quantumania. Like, you know what I mean?
That, yeah.
I think there's like a respect almost that they're like, we can't, like, because here's the thing: if they spoiled, which they already can't, they're pretty close.
No,
They've pretty much confirmed
they literally
who's taken for it.
Yeah, it's Shuri.
Yeah. Well, however, it's Shuri that we see in the Black Panther costume.
Yeah.
It could be, how the whole leaks came out where it was like it didn't work for her directly. She got her like ass handed to her.
100%. Like that's what's gonna happen.
It could be something. Yeah. Who knows?
No, I'm positive that's what's gonna happen, because everything that I saw from that leaked script hadn't happened in that trailer, and I don't see any reason to not believe it.
That is the one I was talking about. That is the movie I was talking about.
Oh yeah, it's still gonna. I feel like that's still gonna kind of disrespect him.
No, I know, but I also think it's the idea of like, this was a movie that was geared so well. There is a target audience with it, and it's fantastic to have like a hero geared towards like the African American communities and everything like that. But the fact that they're throwing Doom in there just so that they can get more people to come is so disrespectful in my opinion. Like,
I mean,
it's
I wouldn't say. So here's the thing. Doom has been an antagonist to Wakanda several times.
Mm-hmm.
He owns his whole freaking country, I mean, you know this. I'm just audience doesn't sometimes. And Namor also big antagonist to Wakanda. And for Doom to be the end credit and the backing of, maybe Ironheart, I believe is what it was, or like the third party, I honestly can't remember. That's a good way to introduce him personally. And I think as long as he's only in the end credits, I think it's fine.
If they do it that way.
Yeah.
But what I think it's cheap how much they've been dropping hints and leaks with it. Because, like, people always get on the whole thing like, oh, companies don't really leak stuff. I'm a marketer. Companies do leak stuff, and they do it on purpose.
Yeah,
so
I think that's obvious.
Yeah. So I just think it's really disrespectful how they did it. I just don't think they needed to even, like, how shocked everyone would be if Doom was in it? There wouldn't even be like a feeling of like, okay, people were coming here just for this. Now, granted, I think a lot of people that would go just to see Black Panther because it was like, he's the black superhero, they wouldn't get it. So they definitely do want to get some of the comic people to go and be like, oh, that's a big boy. Like, that's a big boy.
It's them trying to bridge the gap, because the first Black Panther
yeah, I know.
was all right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think it's... Okay, so it's disrespectful that they're doing the leaks, but not necessarily that Doom's in it.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm on page.
If they put him at the end credit, but they would have kept it quiet, I would have zero problem.
And see,
but it's just the fact that it's
I don't think
been leaked so much.
Any end credit scene has been leaked. Ever.
But this one just happens to be.
But this one just happens to. Well, that and like nearly the entire script just so happens to get leaked the week before the trailer comes out. Which that trailer was great. That hit feels.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's a fantastic
If they had not had any leaks, I think just that one trailer alone to propel you into November, you would have had people crying. I mean, you're still going to have people crying. But I think you would have had a lot of people crying and shocked at the movie's outcome as well as the end credit scene. Which, if they were as hush
I'm
hush as
just
they were about Endgame, as they were about all of their other movies, I think that would give more appeal.
yeah.
Because I think DC's doing a pretty decent job at that with the trailers. I mean, the Black Adam one, kind of not really. I mean, it was like the last trailer or two that really spoiled a certain person, but not too much. But like, they were doing pretty well with the trailers. They didn't really reveal too much, and that's one thing I liked about it too. And I mean, go look at our other podcasts and go in depth about that as well. But yeah, I just hope Quantumania we get maybe another trailer, just one more. That's it. But it doesn't spoil anything. Maybe it's like a TV spot or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Or even like, I think it'd be cool. I thought about this. So
Oh
with
gosh.
Quantumania, if the TVA is involved, I think it'd be cool to do like a PSA from the TVA that explains like it's almost like how Kang is in charge of it now. And so it's almost like I know you don't play the Fallout games, but that Fallout feel of like, here's what you should do. Like welcome to the TVA, part of the like and here we worship our great overlord Kang. And like it's Kang in like the full suit. And it's like,
I
however, there are individuals that cross into this timeline through the quantum realm. And then it like pops up and it's like, these are the ones we're looking at right now. Like things like that, where it's kind of campy, doesn't give a lot away, but it's like, okay, so the TVA's involved. Kang is definitely like Kang's already involved. We
I'd be
know
cool with
that.
that.
So it's like, yeah, like something like that,
I
where
think they'd
it's
probably do
more
that
of
with Loki
creative.
season 2 though. But yeah.
Yeah, where it's more creative instead of just like, like show me a bunch of snippets of the movie all put together. Like I don't want to see that. I'd
Also,
rather just see something creative.
a little off topic. Amazon's making a Fallout series.
Yes, I'm so excited for it.
Did you see the picture that got leaked? That not leaked, but
Yes,
posted.
it did.
I
Yes.
played just a little bit of the Fallout of Fallout 3 and 4, like just like a little bit of it. Not my kind of game. It was enjoyable. It looked good. Story looked interesting. It's not my kind of game. But the series, I don't know, might get me into it. Might get me into it. Especially since
Also, to plug this.
go
Oh
ahead.
no, go for it. Go for
Okay.
it. Keep talking.
Okay. So I was like
I was just gonna say.
I was just saying like
Ah, that's tough.
because we have Rings of Power that just ended season 1, which there's a lot of mixed feelings about it, but overall it's pretty enjoyable in my opinion. I only hated Galadriel and then the Harfoots a little bit afterwards. They were fine at first. They were kind of cute. But overall, I thought Sauron was great. I thought everything that they did with really the world was really good. So I am excited for the season 2. And then that season 1's just ended. House of Dragon just ended, which up until like the last 2 or 3 episodes, it was rough to watch. I mean, so rough. Gosh, it was bad. And then the last 2 or 3 episodes were like, here's a little hint of what Game of Thrones was like. And you're like, oh, if the show was like this, I'd actually might like it. And, now we're getting some more hope with the DCEU. And, I mean, Amazon also has The Boys and Invincible, so, they're pretty good on that. So it's like there's hope for more adaptations that aren't going to be garbage. And I'm
Well,
excited for it.
just off of even just seeing like the stills from HBO Max, how they're doing the Last of Us show. That looks phenomenal.
I personally don't care for it. The game or the series or the show. I might watch the show.
Oh, I
I don't know.
loved this. Oh,
But
I have got a platinum trophy from that game. That's how into it I got. Yeah, I love that
jeez.
game.
Did you even play the
Second
second one?
one,
Yeah, I heard the
yeah, I
second one
played
was
the second one.
garbage.
I was so pissed. I've never been I played through the game, got to one part, and I like powered through it, and then I actually just deleted the game off of my console. Like I was like, I'm done. Like I am absolutely done.
I heard the second one was
And like
really bad, and
it's terrible because it dirties up the entire like it just makes you. And what's funny is the director's like, well, we kind of wanted people to feel like the idea of like not everyone really is a hero in their story. I'm like, shut up. Nobody cares. Like you just murdered someone I spent 17 hours playing for the first one. Like, why? Why did we do this? Also, it's not a spoiler. It's been out for like 2 years. Go play the game.
There you have it, folks. Go play it.
Like, I'll spoil Endgame right now. If you haven't watched it, you're a loser, and I don't know why you're on this channel.
I was like, yeah, if you haven't watched Endgame or the Snyder Cut or like any of those movies, I don't know how you got here. I don't know how you got this far.
Yeah.
But I'm worried for you. Okay, I really am.
Yeah.
I'm hoping and praying for your well-being right now. You concern me.
Blink twice if you need help.
It's blink once for yes, two for no.
Yes. Yep. All right.
All right, I think that's really
Well,
it.
yeah.
That's all we got here. Thanks everybody for listening and watching. Much appreciated. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us, share the love. We really do appreciate any and all support that you guys give us. Let us know any topics you want us to cover. Please. I mean, I'm running out of ideas here. Okay, we can only talk about DC theories in the Batman movies for so long until it's just repetitive nonsense for 3 episodes. Speaking of, we'll have more DC content come to you guys soon, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for me and Voices here. I'm Captain Zeus, your favorite host with the most, who's back from the Empire. That is going to be Voices.
I am Voices.
He's Voices. And we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Bye. Don't forget to listen to our D&D podcast and go watch our D&D episodes.